They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
Okay, guys. I have some bad news. It's not official yet, but I really want your opinions on it. So the traffic for fantasy basketball has slowed down. I'm assuming maybe some people are just having no shot at their playoffs now. And they're going, you know what? There's no reason for me to continue to do research. There's no reason for me to continue to try to make trades, try to go to the waiver wire. So because that traffic being down, I'm thinking, should we go from making a video every single day to making a video every other day? Now, please let me know what you're thinking in the comment section below. And of course, if y'all want your questions answered, you can always come out to the premieres. You can always decide to support the show on Patreon and then have access to my DMs throughout the entire day. But yeah, let me know what you're thinking in the comment section below. If you're watching this as a premiere, let me know. But anyway, what we're going to be doing in this video is we are going to be going through and we're going to be identifying some trade targets for the fantasy basketball playoffs. Now, yes, these players should be productive leading up to the playoffs, so I guess you could just call it overall fantasy basketball trade targets. And our first player that we are going to be talking about is coming back from injury. Already came back from injury. It's going to be Steph Curry. And the reason we're looking to buy Steph Curry is we know that the owners haven't been used to elite production for Steph Curry over the past few weeks due to that injury. We know that he missed a significant amount of time. So if that's going to bring him just at a 5% discount, that's the first reason you want to look to go out there and try to trade for him. Secondly, we know that because Steph Curry was out for a decent amount of time, this Warriors team is now 10th in the West. And yes, they're technically still in the play-in tournament, but they are right on the border. And while, no, this team, I bet you, does not have title aspirations. I bet you, Steve Kerr, if you asked him and you were his mom or something, and you genuinely went, hey, Steve, do you expect that y'all are going to win the NBA Finals this year? He's laughing. He's going, are you kidding me? Look in Los Angeles. They got LeBron James and Anthony Durant. Look in Brooklyn. They have KD, James Harden, Kyrie Irving. Why are you asking me that? So, of course, they're not expecting to win the NBA title, but this is still going to be a team that's competitive. This is still a team that I guarantee you wants to make sure that they are in the playoffs because that's what they're used to. Outside of last season, this has been a very competitive team, not a team that's willing to go into that full-on tank mode, especially when they're getting some intriguing assets next year in a Klay Thompson and hopefully that Minnesota Timberwolves pick if it's outside the top 3. And they're going to be getting their own first-round selection in James Wiseman to hopefully take a step forward. So because of all this, I think the Golden State Warriors are going to look to continue to have that winning culture. And I know that's not a hot take by any means. But because of that, Steph Curry is probably going to go full-on Damian Lillard mode, where he is just putting this team on his back through the rest of the year so he can make sure that they make it to the NBA playoffs because you don't want to be in that play-in tournament. You don't want to if you don't have to. So I think Steph Curry and this Warriors team are going to do everything that they can to get up to that number 5 seed in the West so they can avoid the play-in tournament. But let me know what y'all are thinking here with Steph Curry. I just think he's a clear buy coming back from injury where you're going to have to see the Warriors kind of put the pedal to the metal to make sure that they rise up those standings. All right, so now our next player is going to have a very similar thought process with him here. And this is going to be Bam Adebayo. And I know y'all are probably so tired of me talking about Bam because if you come out to the premiere like so many people do and they go, hey, Mason, who should I trade player X for? My answer every single time is Bam Adebayo because so many things are lining up for him to just be a fantastic asset in the fantasy basketball playoffs. Not only is Bam already coming through with close to elite production in almost every single category, regardless of if you're playing in a category format or a points format, Bam is going to be that fantastic option. We know that he sees assists, he sees rebounds, he sees points, he plays all over the court, and his efficiency is very high at the same time. So you like that. You also like the fact that this Miami Heat team has a great playoff schedule. And you like the fact that this Heat team is currently sitting 6th in the Eastern Conference. So they are right on that edge of playing that tournament. And they do not want to. These teams do not want to be in that play-in tournament, especially the Miami Heat going out there. And I know they pretty much gave up nothing, but still trading for Victor Oladipo, pretty much telling us, hey, we are still gunning for the NBA title. We don't care that Brooklyn has come in. We are going to do everything we can to come out of the East. So this team is going to, very similar, like the Warriors, they're going to be playing their stars every single game. Bam is still very young. He can play every game. He can play a ton of minutes. And Victor Oladipo and Bam Adebayo, obviously, play two completely different roles in this team. So not too worried about Victor Oladipo coming in. So Bam, going to be having to probably be at the top of this list for our trade targets, because we know Steph Curry, while we can sit here and say I really want to trade for him, he's still going to cost a ton. I mean, he's Steph Curry. He has the name value attached to him, where Bam Adebayo, not too many people understand his real fantasy basketball value. Okay, so now let's go over to another player in the Eastern Conference. This team is 5th in the East. They have Clint Capela here. So here with Clint Capela, I understand that I've kind of been wavering on him back and forth. At some points I'm saying I want him. At some points I'm saying I want to sell him. And with Capela, I think we were wrong about looking at how John Collins and Capela operated together in this rotation. I initially wanted to buy Clint Capela before the trade deadline because I was saying, hey, if Collins is gone, Capela should see the bump up. And then I got a little bit disappointed when John Collins didn't get traded. I was like, oh crap, well, I thought that Clint Capela could jump up to being that elite level asset. But I was just wrong in that thought process. Y'all know I'm always the first person to admit when I'm wrong. And the reason I was wrong in that thought process is John Collins plays way more of an offensive role, and Clint Capela is never going to play that role. He's always going to be the guy grabbing boards. He's playing defense. And here with Capela, I mean, the amount of rebounds he's been grabbing lately has been Andre Drummond-esque, because John Collins isn't coming close to Capela with the amount of defensive boards that he is grabbing. So if you're playing in a points format in particular, because we know in a category league, rebounds aren't that valuable, but in a points league, they can definitely add up. That's where I think you would look to buy Clint Capela, and Clint Capela is young enough where you can expect him to be playing a significant amount of minutes down the stretch for this Hawks team, that they're probably in the same boat of the Warriors where they don't think they have title aspirations, but they're 5th in the East right now. I mean, they are a team that at the very minimum is going to be making sure that they can win out from here and try to get that first round playoff victory. So Clint Capela going to be another guy that we are looking to buy. And our last player that we're going to be looking to buy from a team that's actually being competitive is going to be Drew Holiday. And here with Drew, obviously, you can see how impactful he was for that New Orleans team, who is just completely fallen off without him. But Drew Holiday right now playing for the Bucks, 3rd in the East. I think that you just look at his recent production, he is taking that next step forward. And I think you can sit here and you can go, hey, maybe it was unrealistic for us to expect him to put up massive numbers at the very beginning of the year when he's just getting used to the rotation. We understand that this year teams have had limited practice time to go along with this. Now he's used to this Bucks rotation. He can work in with Giannis. And I know Giannis hasn't been missing some games as of late, and that's why you're going to be seeing these random spike elite performances from Drew Holiday. But still, this team's 3rd in the East. We know that the Bucks, they want to win. I mean, they have been right there time and time again. I think Drew Holiday, as a quick side note, actually makes this team a lot more competitive in the NBA playoffs. I know pretty much everybody is just off of them based on the fact that they've been dominant in the regular season the past 2 years, with Giannis winning MVP, with them really pulling a Utah Jazz and nobody giving them the respect for the NBA playoffs. But they can be a great regular season team. This is just a quick side note. Obviously, this doesn't mean anything for Drew Holiday in fantasy, but I think he is also going to kind of unlock this team down the stretch in games and be able to give the Bucks a fighting chance in decent playoff series. Like, just imagine a 76ers Bucks playoff series. Drew Holiday is going to be an impact player in that. It's going to be a very interesting thing to see. So yeah, Holiday has to be on this list for me. Okay, so now let's transition over to some players that are not on contending teams. And I always want to advise people at this time of the season, trade for players that are on those contending teams that have playoff aspirations. But when you are going to be identifying players that are coming from teams that aren't being competitive, teams that are just kind of going not necessarily full on tank mode, but they're playing for ping pong balls. And that's all you have to say. You want to make sure that they are young developmental players, Because when they're young developmental players, then they're still going to be playing back-to-backs. They're still going to be playing a ton of minutes because it's essentially basketball practice for them at that point. It doesn't matter if they have a veteran on the team that may be a little bit more efficient and maybe give them a little bit of a better shot at winning basketball games. No, it's, hey, let's get our young guys in there and let's get them some practice. And our first player that fits this mold is the perfect example of this. And I really hope you traded for him whenever I said to about a month back. But it's going to be Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards has been fantastic as of late. I mean, the volume has been there for about 3 weeks now, but now he's starting to come through with efficiency as well. I mean, he looks like he is getting better almost every single game. And I want to remind everyone, Anthony Edwards, only 19 years old. And yes, D'Angelo Russell coming back probably will hurt Anthony Edwards in the amount of minutes he's playing. But with Russell, I mean, very similar to what we're saying with Karl Anthony Towns. What's the real incentive for this team to be rolling out those two veterans playing a ton of minutes a game? They're not trying to develop those guys at this point. They would probably be better off saying, hey, don't play back-to-backs. Take your time. Don't be seeing a ridiculous 36 minutes a night. But here with Anthony Edwards, that's what they're going to be saying. They're going to be going, hey, man, it's a back-to-back. I hope you are ready to suit up. Not only are you suiting up every single game, but we're rolling you out there for 36 minutes a night because going into next year, you better be a solid rotational piece for us. We spent that draft capital on you. You're 19 years old. You need the practice. So Anthony Edwards is going to continue to play a ton of minutes. He's been productive in the minutes he has been playing lately. I just really like him as a trade target right now. Okay, so now our last player we're going to bring up, I was honestly surprised to hear how young he is. It's going to be OG Anunoby, who, yes, is playing on a team that is not competitive. But he's 23 years old. He's still classified as that developmental player. And like we said, when Norman Powell got traded, there were going to be minutes to be had in this rotation. And I understand they don't play the same role. They're not the same position. But you saw Norman Powell leave. Norman Powell was accounting for so much of this Raptors production that can't all go to Fred VanVleet. That can't all go to Kyle Lowry. So OG Anunoby picking that up, just like we thought he would once we saw that Norman Powell trade. He's been very good since the NBA trade deadline. And if this Raptors team is looking to kind of arrest a few guys down the stretch, it's not going to be OG Anunoby because he's a player that they want to continue to develop. They want to see how he can work in different situations. And he's already been very productive since the Norman Powell trade. So, yeah, I think that he should be the last player we're going to be talking about on this list. Now, thank you guys, and please go to the comment section below. Let me know if y'all care if we stop uploading a video every single day and we switch it to every other day, possibly. Just because, like I said, the traffic has been down. The videos used to get over 100 likes a video, and now they're not even coming close to that. So please, let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. And yeah, that's it. Maybe I'll see y'all with a video tomorrow. Maybe it'll be in 2 days.